I think this leads up to kind of the topic we're going to talk about is really exchanging. You have two things in life. You have money or you have time.
Yeah.
And we exchange time for money or we exchange money for time. And it all comes down in a lot of ways when we're managing our households. It's all about convenience.
Yeah. I had a little time this morning, so I used it to make something, and now we have some for a couple days. So anyway, I think that there are things that people are willing and unwilling to pay for convenience.
Welcome. This is For Better and Worth,
the podcast where we don't believe you have to sacrifice your relationship while you grow and build your net worth.
We are your hosts.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Erica Young, and we're so glad you're joining us today.
All right, y'all, let's get into it.
The For Better and Worth podcast is sponsored by American Heritage Credit Union, a not-for-profit credit union that helps you take control of your financial future.
As a member of American Heritage, you're an owner. You'll be charged fewer fees, earn more in the form of dividends on your account, and have access to lower rates on loans.
Whether your goal is to save for a down payment on a home, create an emergency fund, or build for the retirement you've always dreamed of, American Heritage has the products, resources, and solutions you need.
After all, American Heritage is for the people, not for profit. So to learn more, go to ahcu.co/for better and worth. Hey babe, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. I tried a new recipe today, and what do you think? Did it go well?
It was a good one.
I saw that eye twitch. You know what? No,
it was all good.
See, I'm on this protein journey. Okay.
Look. You know I'm with you on that. So I don't know what you call those things.
They are blueberry breakfast pastries.
Okay.
And
they look like muffin toppers.
Correct. And they are almost 10 grams of protein.
Yeah.
Each.
Yeah.
And they tasted good.
Yeah.
And they have blueberries.
I should have warmed it up though.
Which are cancer fighters.
Would have been nicer if I had warmed it up a little bit, but
next time, because there's more.
Yeah.
Anyway, that goes into
no shade. I appreciate it. No shade.
I know.
You know, I see you with your black on. You kind of blending in a little bit.
I know. I don't like wearing black when I'm down in the studio, but
look, you literally like a talking head. Like cover that little spot.
You know what? Hush up. Hush up.
Just cover that up. You like doo-doo-doo.
Thanks, hon. Did I do a good job today?
Yeah, you got your whole face on and everything. You look beautiful.
Thanks, babe. So me making these blueberry breakfast pastries is twofold. One is
I knew there was a story to it.
I don't like dining out a whole lot.
Yeah.
I like home cooked meals, one, because they're less expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And I can control my ingredients.
Yep.
But it's work, right? And so if I'm looking to make sure that I'm getting my protein and all that, I'm looking for new recipes sometimes, and this was one of them. So it's cool. It's not amazing, but it was good, and it had good protein, and I'll do it again.
I think this leads up to kind of the topic we're going to talk about is really exchanging. You have two things in life. You have money or you have time.
Yeah.
And we exchange time for money or we exchange money for time. Mm-hmm. And it all comes down in a lot of ways when we're managing our households. It's all about convenience.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I had a little time this morning, so I used it to make something, and now we have some for a couple days. So anyway, I think that there are things that people are willing and unwilling to pay for convenience. Mm-hmm. And you have one in particular that, like, as we have gotten older, you're like, this is something I'm just not doing no more, period, hands down.
Yeah, because it takes a lot of time, and I like the outcome, but I don't particularly like the work that's involved.
So what is it?
Cutting the grass. I'm like, deuces, and I'm out.
I thought you used to like that.
I don't know if I used to ever like it, but I like the yard to look a certain way. And,
Yeah.
you know, I'm in my 50-some-year-old phase where like my grass got to be green and
Yes.
got to have the lines. But it takes work to do all of that. Like you could be outside working on the lawn for hours, and I don't have that kind of time. So I pay some professionals that know what I like and they do what I like.
Yes.
And so, you know, until that reaches a point that I'm not willing to pay, then I will, you know, continue to do it. But
Well, and so that's the thing. Years ago, we didn't have a choice, right? When we were trying to get out of there, when we got married and we had bought our house, there was something cool about, oh, we can make our yard now. I don't have no green thumb. So I can't even pretend like I'm in the yard doing a single thing.
right. That was all me.
It was and is.
Yeah.
When we had to get the leaves up last fall, I helped and I did my part and all of
And
that.
you were like, this is a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
It was just getting some leaves up.
Yes, it was a lot of work. And there are times when I would get out and I would shovel snow, sure.
Yeah, you will help with that.
But I am not even great with houseplants. So I do not even need to go outside, mow no lawn, and try to keep up any plants or anything out there. That's not my gifting. That's not my calling. It's not my thing.
But you know what's interesting? I was talking to a work colleague, and you know we were talking about like somehow people always want to talk to me about money and finances at work. Like I tell them I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a this or I'm not a that. I'm a financial enthusiast. You know. But in the course of the conversation, she said, well, I'm not there. I'm not where you're at yet. Mm-hmm. And so I think...
in which way?
Just one of the things we were talking about, like one of the financial goals that she had, you know, I was telling her how we had accomplished some different things. And we were still working towards some stuff, but she has other things that she's working through. And I just think that's a lot of it is... we couldn't always pay for the convenience, whether we liked it or not.
Right.
And so we started out, I bought a lawnmower and a weed whacker, and I was out there weed whacking, trimming, edging, cutting, blowing the yard afterwards. And it would take me a couple hours, to do all that stuff. Especially we lived in Arizona, I had to spray the weeds all the time because we had a rock front yard. Mm-hmm. No, we had grass in the front yard.
We had some grass and rock. We had both.
Yeah.
We had both.
Yeah, but like now, convenience is more important because I put a bigger premium on time now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, but I think too that when you don't have money, you have to find ways to make time. I have always said to clients, in particular, because this convenience thing is very easy to slip into. We always think, oh, well, I need this. Actually, what you need, so we need to eat, but do we need to get takeout? We need to keep our...
need a DoorDash.
Right. We need to keep our lawn up or it'll look crazy and you'll get a fee from the HOA, for instance. But do you need to pay somebody to do it, right? It is a luxury now to do these things.
Whoa.
No. I'm saying
Whoa.
it's a luxury.
Whoa, time out.
So tell me, you don't think it's a luxury?
I guess you always give me a point of view and a perspective. So as we talk about someone who is on a financial journey,
yes,
this may be something they're aspiring to.
Correct.
Because I not only have the lawn service, but I have the people that come and fertilize and do the things. Because I used to do all that myself.
Right.
But now I don't do it. So.
And you don't think it's a luxury. So when I said that, you were getting what?
I think it's a necessity in my life. It's a necessity in others' lives, but they just may have to get the drop spreader and put the stuff in and drop spread.
It is a necessity to keep up your lawn.
Yes.
It is not a necessity to pay somebody to do it.
Right. So just, choose your words.
But it is a luxury.
We're going to agree to
No. It's a luxury to be able to pay someone.
I don't like that word.
That's hilarious.
I don't
Okay,
like that.
so
Luxury.
we will differ on that.
Right. This the bare necessities, people.
Wow. Okay, so let's
Let's move on.
It's clear how important that is to you.
Yes.
And because of that, when you decided that this was something you really wanted, we made room for that in the budget.
Yes.
Now, when we were also on our get out of debt journey,
and there was no room in the budget, then I said, you know what? It's a necessity to have the lawn look a certain way. Mm-hmm. But I went back and I exchanged my time then because I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm making light of it's a luxury, but I think it's a necessity because I want my lawn to look good because that's a precursor to my house. So it's a whole story in my head that I have.
Right.
And so if I didn't, when we could not afford to have that service, I just said, okay, I would go and I would buy products and I would do, the fertilization. And I still have a secret weapon that I don't tell everybody about because I do some applications of products, It's a little side note. But the point I'm making is that, when we couldn't afford it, I went and did it. But now that we can afford it, we've made room in the budget. So it's something that we plan for. So I guess you can call it what you want to. If it's a luxury, you can call it a luxury. So.
It's a luxury.
All right, let's move on.
But when we were getting out of debt, when we were early in our relationship and we had little kids, there were other things that were needs, they were a necessity. Mm-hmm. So for instance, date night to preserve our relationship is a necessity.
Yeah.
Right? But paying a babysitter all the time could have been a challenge. And so we actually would swap kids with our friends. A friend would watch our kids, and then we would watch their kids. And so that turned out to be really helpful.
Yeah. It was a cost-saving measure, and when we could do that, we utilized family when we have family that was close by.
Right. So those are things honestly, I think that we think that the thing is a necessity. Again, the biggest thing to me in people's budgets is the food. Sustenance is a necessity.
Yeah.
Dining out, Uber Eats, takeout is not the necessity. And here's why. It's because it's so much cheaper to cook at home. So much cheaper.
I agree.
It takes time. So again, you have to sacrifice time in order for it to occur. But this is a thing that as a coach, we have had, there's this way that I have had to bring it up with clients in order to show them the need versus the luxury, or how we are making things so convenient for ourselves, and potentially there is a way to save some money. It's a big deal for a lot of people.
I think I agree. In a lot of what you say, and as you're saying it, I think about a few things. People dine out a lot because of convenience, because it's easy to have someone else cook for you or prepare, and if you DoorDash, you have access to unlimited. I'm not gonna say unlimited, but a bunch of options. And I know the kids were joking around with me recently because I was like, man, I don't think I can count how many times I've DoorDashed.
So it's interesting.
And I'm at 3.
Really?
3. I have DoorDashed 3 times.
Wow, I don't do DoorDash either. That's not a thing.
And one of those I was at home.
So it's interesting because this week your company said
we had a lunch and learn.
Yes, and they said here is the allotment you have. You got $25. Go get you some lunch. Right. Or you told me, they gave you $25 to DoorDash something.
Right.
And so your terminology was, they're going to bring it to the house. In my mind, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to bring it to the house. Well, you went and picked it up.
I know.
And I was like, this dude is no joke. But
I sure did. I forget. I thought that was one of the first time I DoorDashed was during COVID or right after COVID, and we had some sort of team meeting, and I actually had food DoorDashed. But this most recent one was, I actually did go pick the food up.
You went and picked it up. And I heard you on the phone when you were like, yeah, for pickup. And I was thinking, that's my husband. Like, literally, that's my husband. And it's funny because you are the same guy who yesterday, when we valeted our car, and because when we dropped it off, there weren't a lot of parking spaces and the place was crowded. Mm-hmm. And then when we went to pick up the car when we were ready to go, we saw our vehicle. And the guy was gonna go get our car, and we were like, it's right there. It's the very first car. We'll just walk. And you tipped him as if he had picked up the car. Like you tipped him well for nothing, because he really just handed us the keys to pick it up. And so.
But he had at least taken it.
Sure.
And I walked away.
Sure.
And I didn't know he was gonna park it in the very first spot, but I felt like, I don't know, I just felt like I see the car is right here.
Yes.
And so for him to go get it and pull it over here,
yeah,
I just think that's over the top.
It is.
I don't like people who do too much.
Well,
that's doing too much.
And you like to tip well. So
yeah,
in your
I want to take care of people that provide service, because that's one of their means of income. So
but I think that some of the conveniences you're willing to pay for, and some you are not.
That's for sure. And I'm sure that everybody who's listening or watching this on YouTube at For Better and Worse, they feel the same way. Some people are definitely willing to pay for things, and some people are not willing to pay for things.
And I honestly struggle with a lot of it. If I can do it, I want to save the money. Like, yeah. I'm a person who, I don't necessarily value saving the time as much as I value saving money more than I value saving time.
That's definitely, I think saving money is more forward for you than the convenience of other stuff.
Right.
But like, I even think about people who have like house cleaners and stuff. And
people who?
Hold on. So, you all up on me today. Like,
no, I'm just, who are these people?
Who have house cleaners that come every week.
Oh, well.
Right, we have somebody who will come clean, but it's like once every other month, because we clean up in between. We straighten and we clean and we do a lot of stuff ourselves. So that's what I'm saying. There's a difference. Some people couldn't go without like having somebody come clean the house every week. I'm like, to me, that's lazy. So I just I'm thinking like the convenience of having somebody do it. I love it when they come and they leave. I'm like, man, everything is clean. But I don't know, maybe I'm just cheap.
No. Again, I think
I'm like, I don't want to pay for it.
It is back to what you are willing to do.
Yeah.
That's what it's back to, because, okay, so
I'm willing to take a Saturday morning and get up and go around with the bucket of cleaning supplies and clean bathrooms. And
we don't do enough of that. So I'm not going to get into that one. But we started when I was pregnant. And this was a stretch for us to have a house cleaner come in. But we budgeted for it. And I'm almost certain it was monthly. And I'm almost certain it was for the second kid, not for the first one. Because by the time the second one came, we
need some help.
We need some help. And so, but it was the motion of standing up and crouching down and all of these things. And we were working, and you know what I mean? It was just a lot. And so I think the thing that, and there have been seasons where we did not do it. So for instance, we did it while I was pregnant, and then for a little while afterwards, and then we stopped. And then it's been the dogs. It has been, like when we got a dog in Arizona, we had somebody cleaning sometimes. And here, because our dog does shed, that has been the other thing. But also, I think people pay for convenience because they're not good at something. And so
I think that's acceptable, but
it's acceptable. But the challenge is, the reason why I wouldn't today, see, I do value time, but I feel weird even when someone comes into my house and they're working for like 4 hours on my house or 2 hours or whatever it is on my house and I'm not doing anything. So the last time somebody came and cleaned our house, you were out of town. And I promise you, I was running around doing all the things. I was doing the laundry. I was getting the dishes done. I was, all the things, like just making sure that putting clothes away. I had to clean up. And then when someone comes, this is the other thing. You got to clean up first.
Clean up before the cleanup.
Because if my desk has papers all over the place, they're not moving that.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to do dishes. And so like if I have stuff and we're not cluttered, but like if anything is on the counter, like just this morning when I got up and I cleaned, straightened up the kitchen. We'll put it that way. I straightened up the kitchen. There were things that had to go in different places. It wasn't a mess, but I had to put something, in the trash, and I had to actually put some dishes away and then do some dishes, all the things. And it's like, that took an hour. And so that's the kind of stuff. So I don't want, honestly, somebody in my house all the time where I got to do all that work.
Yeah.
I would rather mop and sweep my floor when I want to, not because somebody, or straighten up my house, not because somebody's coming.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things though. Like, I pay for some conveniences because I travel a lot. Like TSA PreCheck is a must-have, and we travel internationally. So now we've got global entry, even though, Mobile Passport can do something similar. But, those conveniences I feel like I have to have because I travel a lot and I don't want to wait in lines, and I want to get through as quickly as possible because, I have flights to catch.
You want to give people the deuces. You like walking in the faster
like,
there line so you can be like, that's what you think in your head.
Suckers. But also like there are some statistics we have here, and the global food delivery market is projected to reach 223 billion by 2027. That's like next year. That is insane.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Uber Eats and DoorDash and all of that. It's like, that's crazy. And I don't know, sometimes to me, dining out is already an extra cost that we're incurring.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm talking about, I see these videos on online, on social media where drivers get mad because people didn't tip them enough. And it's like, well, dang, man, how much I'm a good tipper, but how am I'm supposed to pay for the food, pay for the taxes? Do I have to tip the restaurant because they prepared the food that they sold me and tip the driver? I'm like, it's a lot of tips.
Yeah.
And fee and convenience fees and, so on and so forth. But some convenience fees are unavoidable. Like we pay a fee if we buy movie tickets online versus just going to the theater and paying.
Or
if
concerts.
you buy, concert tickets, those fees are ridiculous. So Ticketmaster, if you hear me, it's ridiculous.
Well, they've wrapped it in, so you don't even really see them as much anymore.
But we know people spend lots of money on a monthly basis, more than, on average, what does it say, $273 a month on convenience and services. And I guess the whole thing always comes back to, what is your bigger goal that you're trying to work towards? Because in the same conversation I was having with, my coworker, she was like, look, I prioritize lifestyle. And I was like, oh, people want to live, people want to drive, people want to eat, and they defer other goals when they could say, I'm not going to drive this, or I'm not going to live here, I'm going to have these other priorities first. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think that when we're talking about, we have to really get clear on, in this moment, what is a need and what is a want, and is it in alignment, or is it getting in the way of your bigger picture goals? Because if it's getting in the way of your bigger picture goals, then you might need to evaluate, is this want something that I'm willing to go for? And I don't think that when we are looking at all of the conveniences, that we are evaluating that. I have to say this. I had a client who wasn't aware of their spending on Uber Eats. They worked from home. And when we added it all up, because they had never done that before, they were spending over like $1,000 a month.
Ooh-wee.
So this meant they were next to never cooking lunch, making lunch.
Wow.
$1,000
a month on lunch?
Mm-hmm. So
that is
so for two
obscene.
people. For two people.
That's obscene.
And so they were just, okay, what are we having today? Like they had got into this habit of, and if you think about it, okay, so let's just break this down because
before you even break that down, like when I hear that, the first thing that comes to mind is like, I'm trying to eat healthy, I'm trying to keep myself together. I can't do that dining out for lunch every day.
You know, okay. I'm gonna come back to that because
I guess I could depend upon where I order, but still I'd rather eat at I'm sorry. Carry on. Go back to your thought.
I'm just saying. Okay, so think about it. The two of us could eat for, let's say, if we go to my favorite place for takeout, which is Sweet Green.
It's still gonna be like $50, $40.
It'll be a good 35. I don't think it'll be. If you get a drink, it'll be 40.
About $40.
So $40 times 5 days a week is $200.
Yeah, times four weeks.
That's $800, and that's if I go pick it up.
Right.
So now you see
factor in convenience fees,
$1,000.
Yeah,
you can see it, right? So even if they eat leftovers from it for dinner, like that's $1,000, right?
Yeah, no.
So, but to
that's
go back,
a lot of groceries.
To go back to your point, that you're trying to keep yourself together and dining out. I agree with you. This is why I like to eat at home. Is that one, I potentially overeat. Two, I probably don't make the same type of choices I would make at home. Yeah. Three, especially if it's dinner, I'm gonna want some dessert.
I know I make different choices at home, so.
Yeah, and so, but I had a client who was vegan and had a vegan place that he loved, and he was spending by himself over $400 at this one place per month. So when you think about, like, these are conveniences, because if a person doesn't enjoy cooking, they have specific dietary preferences, they don't have time, or they think they don't have time. And I want to address that later too. But they're willing to pay it, and then they don't want to look at it and face what it's doing to their finances.
Yeah, I think the whole point, when we do these podcasts, is really to talk about, like, focusing on your goal. I say it once, I say it 1,000 times. It's about progress over perfection. Just keep making progress. And sometimes you can't, people are eating their progress.
Yeah.
And you have to say no to some things. And I know there was a season in our lives when, I was on a fitness journey, and I was saying no to everything. Because I was just locked in. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not doing that. Because I had a goal at the end of the day. And so I think sometimes you have to have that unfettered discipline, like you are locked in, and focused. But I just don't think people are always doing that, because, like we try and say, and I think if you think about these scenarios, when you have time and no money, spend the time. If you have more money than time, spend the money.
Yeah.
And I remember we had a friend we were doing kitchen renovations, and he had a lot of time on his hands. And after he got some quotes for cabinet refacing or replacement, he was like, oh no, I'm about to spend this time. And he actually did the cabinets in his kitchen, and it turned out great. They looked great. But I saw how much time he invested and, like, expertise that he actually learned along the way, and invested in tools and things like that, but he still saved significant money, but he had the time. and he could do it.
And we paid for the convenience and the renovation
because
of our bathrooms.
I don't have the time. I don't have the complete know-how. And so to me, it was worth paying for the convenience of professionals who could do it and do it in a timely fashion, because I might still be working on the bathrooms right now.
It's a reason that people should rent in the early phases of their life and relationships, because I think that the rest of what it looks like to take care of a home and all the upgrades and all that can cut into your ability to do some other things. But the one thing that I wanted to get back to is, we talk about if you have more time than money, use the time. I think we have more time than we're willing to admit. Let's be very honest. You know, we want to use our time for something else. We might not want to use it to clean, to do maybe to do the laundry, because I actually knew somebody who had their laundry sit out in the front of their house, and the laundry would get picked up and they would come back folded, clean and folded. They say they don't have time to clean house, do landscaping, to cook, for instance. Those are the major things. And the thing is we have time for other stuff, because we spend time watching TV, on social media, doing random things. And
I think you're getting up in some people's business.
It's right real. It is so real, because I see how much time I waste watching TV, and I try sometimes to cook at the same time that I'm watching TV, or I'm a person who likes to
you hate wasted time.
I hate wasted time, and so I want to make sure that I'm sort of doing something, at the same time. But anyway, we have time for what we want to make time for, and
we also have money for what we want.
A lot of us do.
Yeah, because people...
A lot of us do.
I mean, as you're saying that, I think the thing I heard is that we waste both.
Yeah.
We waste time,
for sure,
and we waste money.
Yes.
Because I've always felt like people afford what they want to afford. And a lot of times, they'll make a decision on something whether they can afford it or not, but they're making a sacrifice in another area so that they can do that. People have the same thing with time. If you want to invest in watching shows and other things, then that time is gone. So now you have to make it up and employ some of these other conveniences that we're talking about. So,
yeah, I think that we have the time for it. It's just we don't sit down and slow down and evaluate what are we using it for, and is it going to help us get closer to where we really want to be.
So let's start to put a bow on this, and let's talk about how maybe people should look at how they balance their time and money. Like, what is something that you would say that people should really start to consider as they balance time versus money and the convenience factor?
I think your values need to come into play. Like, what is it that you value in the moment? And I don't think that we can utilize, I value all these 10 things, and therefore there's nothing that is a super high priority, right? So I think, I'm gonna use myself as an example. I value health. I value my health. And right now
health is wealth.
In this moment, I am choosing to not spend a lot of money on dining out or time there, and spending my time and my money on things at home to create meals that are healthier or meeting my goals, right? So that is my top value in terms of the convenience factor. So I'm more inclined to spend on housekeeping so that I can do these other things that matter to me, right? And you, for instance, are more interested,
I'll spend money on the lawn.
Right, so that you can do something else. But I think it comes to what are the top one or two things that you value, and getting clear on that, because I think we do things out of convenience, and then we get into a place where we don't realize how much we're spending, how, is it really adding value? Is it bringing peace of mind to your life? And those things matter. I think we just have to sit back a little bit and reevaluate.
Well, I think those are all good statements, and I think it comes down to the point in life that we're at, because we used to pay for cable and it was bundled and you got everything and it was one fee. And now we pay for subscriptions to everything. You know, at one point we thought it was better because cable went away and the price of cable was so high. Now, you know, you pay for Hulu, YouTube TV, or, you know, other things, and every subscription, because you want to see a show here, you want to see it. So we pay for things that, you know, seem to matter. Like, even you can buy a coffee subscription, unlimited coffee monthly at, you know, restaurants. So every morning you can stop and get your coffee fill. And what I think that we have to do is, like, one, it's always about priorities, like you said, like what makes that priority list, and really be honest with yourself. Because I know for us, it was like a priority to get out of debt and to get to a point where we could be where we are today, to have freedoms and flexibilities to make choices. And to me, that was my ultimate end game, was to be in a position to be able to say yes or no.
Sure.
And be okay with either, because it was a choice, not because I was forced to say yes or no to any particular thing. And so we said no to things early on, so it will put us in a position so we could say yes at this phase in life.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where people have to really land on deciding what's most important. And, you know, I like to say we major on the minors.
Too often.
Yes, we make big deals about all these little things, and you need to focus on the things that really matter. I think that's my make it worth it right there. Focus on the things that really matter.
Yeah.
And don't let all these other little things become distractions.
So my make it worth it is count up what convenience is costing you. Add it up. And then see, is that taking away from you being able to put more in your retirement or get out of debt or for some other, or a nice vacation? I think that you need to add it up. For some folks, it could simply be Starbucks, right? I've had people who add up their Starbucks and they're surprised they spend $150, $200. I'm gonna put it out here because my sister, she told me she added up her Starbucks and it was $200 in a month.
Ooh-wee.
And
I regularly go to Starbucks. Well, I don't say I regularly go. I go frequently enough, but sometimes they told me what the cost was, and I don't know if they heard me. I was like, dang, that's high.
And so I have told
Made me
people,
rethink.
I have told people to buy a Keurig and, you know, for $150 or whatever, use their Starbucks money for 1 month and then get the pods. And then Starbucks is now a treat once a month or twice a month versus every single day. And it saves you money. And so just count up what you're paying in convenience, and are you okay with that? And is it in the way of something else that you want and desire and need in your life?
Well, I hope this forces people to stop and think, you know, about the conveniences that they are indulging in that may be robbing them in other areas of their lives. So, you know, until next time, keep tuning in and keep coming back, and
we're out.
Thank you for spending some of your time with us today.
We appreciate all of your support, so be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you listen to this podcast.
You can find us on Instagram at For Better and Worth.
And sign up to receive our free guide, The 7 Reasons Your Money Relationship Isn't Working with Your Partner, on ForBetterAndWorth.com.
Until next time, we're out of here.